Hello everyone, my name is Ernest and you are now watching V Concept College English. Today we want to continue in a series of 10 videos entitled 100 Commonly Misused Words Used in WAEC, NECO and JAMB Lessons Structure. And we shall be taking on the third part of the series today, which captures words number 21 to number 30. For item 21 on the list, we have round up / round off, resulted to, resulted in, conclusively, in conclusion, continuous, continual, lose, loss, lose, loosed, losing, loosened, lost, lost, undisciplined, undisciplined, indisciplined, indisciplined, proceed, proceed, impact, impart. Alright, so with this short introduction, I want to welcome you to the part 3 of this video today. Number 21, round up, round off. Item 21, round up, round off. What is happening here is that a verb has been used with a preposition, and that's round up, to arrest someone, which we have just explained. Then round off. Round off means to conclude a program. So, round up to arrest someone, round off to conclude or to end a program. So, we can say that this is one meaning of round off, okay, for general usage. So, we can say this is what? The first meaning of round up. Now, there is another meaning of round off. We can say that that one is for mathematicians. For mathematicians, to round off numbers means to bring numbers close to the nearest rounds of fives. So for mathematicians, round off means to bring numbers close to the nearest rounds of fives. This word round off can mean to round up and to round down. So in mathematics we can say, if you want to succeed with these words, you have to understand your context very well. Are you talking in mathematics or you are talking in general terms? So if you are talking in general terms, then round off will mean to conclude. But if it is in mathematics, to round off means to round numbers up or to round them down. If they are close to 5, then if they are up to 5, you take them to the next round of 5. But if they are less than 5, then you break them down, okay, to the lower round of 5s. So this is what we say about rounding up numbers. Rounding up numbers and rounding down numbers. Now let's look at their usage. We can say something like, what do we have here? This is an expression that contains the two phrases. So the first one, round up, is here, and then the second one, round off, is here. The police would round up anyone that fails to round off their criminal activities. So that means the police would arrest anyone that fails to stop their criminal activities. Let's move forward and look at their appearance in past questions. Now this is what we have. WAEC 2001. The members of the association were just rounding dash their discussion when the police arrived. A, up, B, off, C, off, D, E. So like we have explained, The members of the association were just rounding off. That was the correct option. It's not rounding up. Okay, they were rounding off their discussion or concluding their discussion. So that is how to use round up and round off. We shall now move forward to the next item on our list, which is resulted to and resulted in. Item 22, resulted to / resulted in. We have said quite a lot in this video on prepositional phrases. So resulted to and resulted in here are also phrasal verbs. But one thing we have to note around these words is that in everyday English, like if you go out there on the street, you will usually hear things like it has resulted to it, it has resulted to, it has resulted in. But what we should ask ourselves is, do these phrasal verbs or these arrangements actually exist? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves here in English generally. Out of these two phrases, it's only one that is correct. You cannot just attach a preposition to a verb because you feel it will say what you want to say. When you're talking about combining preposition and verbs, there are specific prepositions that must be combined with specific verbs to pass a specific message. So if it has to do with one thing leading to another, then it is resulted in. So we say that resulted to is a wrong combination, whereas the correct combination is resulted in. So then, what is the meaning of resulted in? It means to cause something to happen. For example, okay, let's look at the usage. If A results in B, then A has caused B to happen, or A has led to B. Okay? Now let's look at another case of how to use results in or resulted in. Results in is the present tense form, while resulted in is the past tense form. Last year. So this is how to use resulted in. Okay, I can just bring it here and then I'll remove it from here. Inadequate preparations resulted in mass failure last year. All right, so this is a way that you can use resulted in. Don't make the mistake of saying inadequate preparation resulted to mass failure. That doesn't sound grammatically correct. Now, let's look at the occurrence of these elements in past questions. The quarrel between the two men soon resulted dash a fight, to a fight, in a fight, towards a fight, into a fight. From my explanation, the correct answer is B, soon resulted in a fight. So that is that on resulted to / resulted in. Let's move on to the next item, which is conclusively / in conclusion. Conclusively / in conclusion. Let's look at the first one, conclusively. Conclusively means to put an end to a discussion without any doubt. While in conclusion means lastly or to sum up. So this is what happens. Conclusively, to put an end to a discussion without any doubt. Then in conclusion means lastly or to sum up. The problem is that this first word sounds a little bit autocratic, sounds a little bit authoritative, sounds a little bit too authoritative. So it is, in most cases, it is not well tolerated. Conclusive is not well tolerated in everyday English. Now let's look at how to use these words in everyday English. Conclusively, his essay explains why students fail in English. But the second one says, in conclusion, his essay explains how students can excel in English. The first one is talking about putting an end to the discussion authoritatively. But this one is talking about summarizing the entire point. That is to sum up the entire essay. Okay? So this is how conclusively and in conclusion can be used. Now let's look at the occurrence of these words in the past questions. Jam 1992. Dash, comma, signpost words. Signpost words are used to readers. A. Conclusively, signpost words are used to readers. To conclude, signpost words are used to readers. In conclusion, signpost words are used to readers. The conclusion, signpost words are used to readers. Right. So now, this is a test of what conclusively and in conclusion. But if you look at the way this expression is coming out, dash, signpost words are used to reader, it's not going to be a case of to conclude or the conclusion. So it's between conclusively or in conclusion. If you look at what the expression is saying, I'm going to decide, I'm going to choose conclusively or in conclusion. Remember, conclusively is to put an end to a discussion without any doubt. Why this one is to sum up. So there's no indication that anything is being summed up in this expression. So we cannot take in conclusion. It is an affirmation or an assertion that basically signpost readers are used to readers. So option A is the correct option. Therefore, we now move forward to item number 24 on our list, which is continuous and continual. Item number 24, continuous and continual. These two words are adjectives, okay? Because we use them to describe certain things, okay? Especially events or activities. Now, what's the meaning of continuous? Continuous describes something that occurs over a period of time without interruption. Something that occurs over a period of time without interruption. This is very important in the understanding of continuous. Then the next word is continual. What is the meaning of continual? Continual describes something that is starting and stopping over and over again. In other words, something that is reoccurring. So this is what we mean. Continuous, something that occurs over a period of time at a stretch without interruption. Whereas continual is stopping and starting again and again. So let's look at the usage. Now this is what we have. She suffered continuous police harassment. 2. She suffered continual police harassment. It is the same expression. What happens in the first case is that the harassment continues over a period of time without interruption, without stopping. Whereas in the second case, the harassment continues, stops, comes again, and then stops, and then starts again and stops. So that is what we mean by she suffered continual police harassment. So let's go forward and look at their appearance in past questions. Jam 1985. In May 1978, the rain fell incessantly and made life dry. A. At interval. B. Recurrently. C. Repeatedly. D. Concurrently. E. Continuously. So what happens is, the one we are looking at, we are looking for its synonym is incessantly. Is incessantly going to be continuously or continually? Continuous or continuous? Continuous. Item number 25. Lose, loss, lose. These words belong to different parts of speech, and we are going to analyze them accordingly. Let's pick on the first one, which is what? Lose. Lose. Pronunciation is going to be very important to us here because people normally pronounce this word wrongly, and at the end of the day, get to use them what? Wrongly. So this word is pronounced as lean, O and Z, that is lose. It's pronounced as what? Lose. Lose. Now, what's the meaning? It is a verb. Okay? The word is a verb, so we have to add this. It means to become unable to find or to cease to own something or someone. So lose means to become unable to find something or to cease to own something. Okay? And then it will be good for us to identify the different parts of the verb or forms of the verb. So the present tense, you're going to have lose, and then the past tense, you're going to have lost, and then you have what? Past participle as lost. So that is what happens to this word. And then we shall be discussing that when we get to item 27. So we're going to be looking at the use of lost and how it is conflicted with lost. So this is what we mean by this first word. Now let's move forward and look at the second word, which is loss. The second word on our list is loss. So let's talk about the pronunciation. Loss. Just L, R, and what? X. That's loss. Okay, this is how we're going to pronounce this word. Now, what part of speech is it? This very word is a noun. It is not a verb. It is a noun. Now, it is the word, okay, that gives rise to this. Now, what is the meaning of loss? Being a noun, it is a state of being. So we can say a state of what? Losing. Remember, I've changed this word now to the ing form. So I now have XOS, then ing, losing. Good. So this is what happens. When we get to the usage, we are going to try to explain vividly how people conflict this word for this. And they will pronounce this instead of pronouncing this. They will say loss, and they are actually pronouncing this, which is the noun. And they will now use it as a verb. We shall get there and try to show some examples. Let's now talk about the third word on this list, which is lose. Again. Now, this word has the same pronunciation as this first one. So, it is pronounced as li, long u, and then z, which is what? Lose. And the word has two forms of usage. Okay? So, we can have lose as a verb, first of all, as a verb. So, let's treat it as a verb. And then, in that case, we're going to have its present tense as lose. And then, the past tense is loosed. And the past participle is loosed. So what does it mean when it is used as a verb? It means to set free or to release someone or something completely. So that is the meaning of lose when used as a verb. Remember, we said that the same word can be used as an adjective. Now, this is what we have. Lose, and it will still maintain the same pronunciation, which is L-U-Z, but this time around as what? An adjective. There are two ways in which this word can be used as an adjective. So we can talk about number one, and then we can talk about what? Number two. Number one, when something is not firmly fixed or securely attached. When something is not firmly fixed or securely attached, then you can use the word loose, but as an adjective. Then the second way in which you can use this word as an adjective is to describe somebody that has no morals or sexually free. Then you can say that the person is loose. So these are two ways that you can use this word as an adjective. So the first case is the case of using lose, and then we also have what? Loss, and then we have what? Loss. So this sentence reads, when you lose your shoes, you can talk about the loss of your shoes since you have lost them. So this is how to use lose, lost, and loss. We have used 1, 2, and 3 now. So we have used the 3 words together. That's lose, lost, and loss. When you lose your shoe, okay, that is what if you become unable to find your shoes, you can now talk about the loss of your shoe. This is a noun. You remember when D stands before a word, it is what? A noun. Loss of your shoes, since you have lost them, you have lost them. This is now used as a past participle. The verb that comes after anomalous verb, have lost. So that is that about that. Now, having successfully used lose, lost, and lost, that is loss, lost, and loss that comes or can be generated from here, let's now talk about lose. That is how to use lose as a verb. How to use lose as a verb. So, to use this word as a verb, we have this expression. James has been asked to loose the cow from the stake. That is to let the cow go completely free. So you use this word loose. Break it off and let it go free. That is loose. So we shall move forward still and try to use the same word lose and see how it can be used as an adjective. If you are in doubt of how we have used this word as a verb, try to know that when the word is coming after infinitive, that is to, then the word is definitely going to be a verb. To lose, to go, to come, to eat, to sleep. So it is used as a verb here. But watch this word very well, because the examples that we're going to take again now are going to use this same form of the word with the same pronunciation, but as an adjective. Her hair was hanging loose to her shoulders like she is sexually loose. Okay, the way loose is used here, it is an adjective descriptive of the shape of her hair, not packed together. Then the second way loose is used here, it is used to describe her personality, although it is what? Figurative. That is to show that she is low in morals or sexually free. So you say her hair was hanging loose to her shoulders like she is sexually loose. So this is how you can use loose as an adjective. It's different from the way you can use loose as a verb. James has been asked to loose the cow. Break it free and let it go. Oh, the hair is loose. That is not firmly packed. That is an adjective. But loose the cow, break it and let it go. That is as a verb. So these are the ways you can use loose, both as a verb and as an adjective. Now, let's see the occurrence of these words in past question. Before we go to past question, let's look at the mistakes that people make with these words. Talking about words like lose, words like what? Lost, words like what? Loss, words like lose. Please, don't lost my pen. Please don't lost my pen. It's an error. There's nothing like don't lost my pen in English. So what you can say is don't lose my pen. The correction is please don't lose my pen. Good. Then sometimes people make mistakes with this word here. They say she has lost the pen. She has lost the pen. She has lost the pen. No, this is equally wrong. This word is what? A noun. It cannot be used with what? Has. So you cannot say has plus noun. Has can only go with a verb. And the form of verb that can go with has is past participle verb. So the correction is she has lost the pen. She has lost the pen. Correct. She has lost the pen. So these are some mistakes that people make, okay, around these words. Now let's move forward to the appearance of these words in past questions. Jan 2007. If you are not careful, you would dash your money. A, loss. B, lose. C, lose. D, lost. Good. This is a situation of someone becoming unable to find his or her money. So I'm going to say loss, lose, or lost. This is a noun, so it cannot be used as a verb. You cannot say someone would, noun. Would plus a noun. It cannot go. You would lose your money. A situation where something becomes less fixed or untightened. So this one cannot go with parting with money. So you now have lose and lost. Good. These two words, okay, are related to misplacing money or becoming unable to find your money. But it's not going to be lose or lost. Would cannot be followed by past participle verb. Would can only be followed by a verb in its simple present form. So you would lose your money, not you would lost your money. So that is that on that about lose, loss, and lose. So move forward to the next item, which is loosed, losing, and loosened. Item 26, loosed, losing, loosened. When we were discussing lose, we said that lose is a verb. We established this quite well. And then we said that it has its past tense as loosed, and then it has its past participle as what? Loosed. Meaning to set something free completely. The next word is losing. Losing is another word in its own class. It is a verb, quite well, and then it has its past tense and participle in losing, loosened, and loosened. So you have loosened and loosened. That is past tense and past participle. This verb means to make something less tight and not set it free completely or not release it completely. Losing is the verb and loosened is the past tense or the participle form of this word. And it means to untighten something. That is to make it less tight, to make something less tight, or to loosen something and not lose it completely. If you're losing something, you are not losing it completely. If you're losing something, you did not lose it to let it go fully. Now let's look at the usage of this word. We can say James loosed the cow from the stick. This one means James broke the cow completely free and released it to let it go. Then let us now talk about this. This word is used in its simple present. Always losing your belt before meal. I can even use it as an object of infinitive. I say something like, correct. I want to loosen my belt. Good. So it is not a past tense, it's a present tense verb, which means to just release something a little and make it less tight. Now, in its past tense form, you will say, I want to loosen my belt. I have loosened it already. Item number 27, we have two words, lost and lost. Now, these two words, although their pronunciation is the same, that is, they look like homophones, they are not perfect homophones. For example, this word lost has vowel 6, which is L, R, and S, T, and then lost, okay, has vowel 10, which is L, V turned upside down, that is vowel 10, and then you have S, T, okay? So, this is what we're talking about. We have said a lot about this word and said that this word is a verb, but this very one is a noun. Okay, this one is a noun. All right, this one is the past tense, like we have already established. Past tense of what? Lose. Past tense of lose. Okay, then what about lost? To have an intense sexual feelings for someone. That is the meaning of lost. So this second word, lost, means to have an intense sexual feelings for someone. Like we have already established, this one means to what? To lose the possession of something, okay? And then this one means to have an intense sexual feeling for something. It also means to have a strong desire for something generally. Okay, so that's the difference between the two words, lost and lost. Let's look at their usage. His lust for her grew until he lost his self-control. So this is how to use these words in an expression. So let's look at their occurrence in past questions. Jam 2014 synonym. Okay, the lazy man cast a lustful glance at his neighbor's wife. A, envious. B, hateful. D, quick. D, covetous. Okay, lustful glance, that is, remember we said lust also means to have a strong desire for something, and that is covetous. So that is covetous. Option B. Option D is the correct answer. Let's go on to the next item on our list, which is undisciplined, indisciplined, indisciplined, and indisciplined. Now the next item we have is 28, undisciplined, undisciplined, indisciplined, indisciplined. Good. So if you look at these words very well, it looks like they are just selected, or that they are in a sect, okay, or in two sects. Let's bring out the first sect. The first one is undisciplined, okay? Undisciplined without D. And then the next one is undisciplined with D. The next one is indisciplined with what? Without D. And then the fourth one is indisciplined. Good. Now, what happened in discipline? What happened to this word is that undisciplined is supposed to be a noun, while undisciplined is a participle that will serve as an adjective. So you can call this one ADJ. Then indiscipline is what? Of course, a noun as well. Then indisciplined is supposed to be a participle that will serve as what? An adjective. Good. Now, this word undisciplined is an irregular form. Irregular form. If we say something is irregular, that means it's not in regular use. Okay? The regular word is what? Undisciplined. I will bring us down to begin to look at just two words, that is undisciplined and indisciplined. Right? So indiscipline is supposed to mean the same thing as what? Undisciplined is supposed to mean the same thing as what? Indiscipline. But the regular word is what? Indiscipline, not undisciplined. Then undisciplined supposed to mean the same thing as indisciplined. But the regular usage is undisciplined, not indisciplined. So we are going to be looking at just these two. Now, what's the meaning of undisciplined? This one is, or it means someone that has not been subjected to correction, or that has not made to become disciplined. Then for the second one, indiscipline. Good. So if someone falls to indiscipline, then the person is undisciplined. That means that person has not been subjected to correction, or he or she has not been made disciplined. Good. So this is how to use undisciplined and indisciplined. Usage. There is growing evidence of indiscipline among the undisciplined troop. I hope you understand. So that is how to use indiscipline and undiscipline. JAM 1988. The students were suspended because they were dash A. Indisciplined, B. Undisciplined, C. Undiscipled, D. Disciplinary. Just remove these two, discipled and disciplinary. So it's going to be between indisciplined and undisciplined. We have established that this word is not a regular use, but the regular form of the word is undisciplined. So the correct answer is B. We now move forward to item number 29 on our list, which is proceed/precedes. These two words, proceed and precede, are verbs. Now let's look at the first one, proceed. This one means to go or to continue moving forward. The second word, precede, means for one thing to come before another. Proceed, to go or to continue moving forward. That's proceed. But precede means for one thing to come before another. All right, now let's look at their usage. Any student that wants to proceed with English learning must understand how most adjectives precede the nouns they modify. So this is an expression that has to do with the two words. The student wants to go forward with English learning must understand how adjectives come before the noun that they modify. And when adjectives come before the noun that they modify, we call that an occasion of attributive adjectives. So this is how to use proceed and precede in expressions. Now let's look at their occurrence in past questions. 2018. You may now dash with your presentation. A. Precede. B. Precedes is a wrong spelling. There's no word like this in English. Proceed. There proceeds. There's no word like this as well in English. Proceed and precede. So these are the two words that exist around this neighborhood. So I'm going to say you may now proceed or you may now proceed with your presentation. D is the correct option. That is that about proceed and precede. Now move to the last item on our list today, which is impact and impart. Impact, impart. The first word here is a noun, impact. And it means, okay, let's indicate that it is a noun. Impact, a noun, the powerful effect that something has on somebody or on something. Why impart is a verb, and it means to pass information across to someone else. So, this is what we mean by these two words. Impact. Impact is a noun, so the first syllable is stressed. Impact is the powerful effect that something has on somebody or something. Then impart, this one is a verb, which means to pass information across to someone or to some persons. All right, now let's look at their usage. Selfless people make a major impact on the world when they impart helpful knowledge to others. Okay? All right. So the first one is with C. Selfless people make a major impact on the world when they impart helpful knowledge to others, when they give out helpful knowledge to others. So this is how these two words can come together in one sentence. Now, let's look at their occurrence in past questions. JAM 2016 Anthony. It is important not to let mistakes blight your life. So we're looking for the opposite of blight. A, damage. B, impart. C, improve. D, ruin. So I also have a video on antonyms, how to answer questions on antonyms. And the first step to say what you can do to answer questions antonym is to apply the principle of elimination and substitution. So the first step to elimination when answering question on antonym is to remove a word that's nearest in meaning to the word that you're looking for its opposite. So blight your life is damage. Damage is a negative word. Blight your life, the way the word sounds, mistakes blight your life, like mistake destroy your life. So damage is a synonym to blight. Impart is not a synonym. So since it's a synonym, you cross it. Impart is not a synonym. Improve is not a synonym. Ruin is a synonym. So you now have only two options left. It's important not to let mistakes blight your life. Mistakes impart or that mistakes improve your lives. Okay? Now, to impart is to pass information across to someone, to some people. So it cannot be impart. So the correct answer is what? Option C, improve. That is how we come to the end of our part 3 videos today in this series. So we now look forward to meeting again in part 4. Stay blessed.